Falana has since gone to court to file a suit against the social media giant for issues bordering on privacy. $5 million worth of litigation. Mr. Falana, why?
Matter deal. Femi Falana don't sue the owner of Blue Apple, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Femi Falana don't sue the guy with $5 million. The issue border of privacy. This one will get problem for people when they use Blue App for Nigeria. Yeah? Anyways, take your time, listen to the reason, listen to what happened. Why Femi Falana sued Facebook owner Mark Zuckerberg 5 million. Meta where they pay you money, they don't sue the guy. $5 million. $5 million for issue budging privacy. Listen now.
Well, the medium was used to promote type of drug, and I was chosen firstly that I had a problem with my health and that I suffer one type of disease for 16 years until I stumble on this drug by this doctor, right? And of course, circulated around the world. In fact, my attention was first drawn to it by a client in the United States of America. And of course, many other people have drawn my attention to it locally. And I felt, and I know about 3 other Nigerians, one of them a former head of state, whose voice was cloned like my own. My voice was cloned. In fact, in one of the interviews you conducted, my voice was cloned, where I was advertising this particular drug or the efficacy of the drug and the power of the doctor. So I felt we must begin to have some regulations. If the legislators will not look at the law, the courts are there to protect the privacy of citizens. I have my right to privacy guaranteed by Section 37 of the Constitution, and that is the basis of the case.
I mean, it's interesting that some of you have the power to fight for yourselves, and some of us may not have as much. I've been a victim of so many of them, and that same platform has always been used.
No, but if you contact some of us,
I've
offer services to you, pro bono publico,
to the extent that that I was arrested because of an interview, because there is a secret way of making money, and because I said that on television, I was arrested because the government does not want the people to know the secret to the wealth, and they were asking people that if you want to know the secret, quickly go and register. I mean, this has been filed cases with the police, filed cases with the EFCC, filed cases with all the major security agencies in the country to look for these people who are using Facebook to advance this criminal, very similar style they use in using AI, and it's interesting that this is going on in our country.
We may use this case as a reference point.
I have more than 150 images that have been used, and I have records of them.
Well, on this matter, with respect to right to privacy, there's no statute of limitation because part of our fundamental right. So you may want to take it up. And I will refer you to 1 or 2 lawyers. All right. I will take it up free of charge.
All right. That would be interesting. And Mr. Falana, Meta is not a Nigerian-owned organization.
I can sue anybody anywhere in the world once I suffer here. Once I'm exposed to embarrassment here. Once my right to privacy is violated here. And of course, Facebook is all over the world, including Nigeria. So I can sue whatever it is.
Can they be made to answer to whatever that goes, that whatever the breaches that you find, can they made to be answerable because they don't really operate physically here?
Of course, because they have created a forum for people to throw in any message. So they have to be responsible. They have to be responsible. When in the West they simply pull down, some libelous publications and the rest of them. But I think the last time the government asked them, Nigeria imposed a fine of about $220 million. There was a time Facebook, Meta, whatever, was asked to pay about $5 billion in the US. Oh yeah. Governments take it up on behalf of citizens all over the world.
I mean, what does this portend for our society, where social media has been taking away from the main purpose, and people use it for all malicious and so many things are said about me, about so many. I mean, you hear some of these things, and I'm wondering if I begin to dispel or to deny or to speak about things that have been said about me on social media, I won't do any other thing. That's the only thing I'll be doing all my life. I mean, the fear of how social media is being used, Mr. Falana.
In the 70s, the late fella wax a record, Bamileti Kindolo. A big man was going to slap him in Lagos due to because of a traffic whatever. They had a problem on the road, and the man had lifted his hand. He wanted to slap fella, but when people said fella, so he took back there. So fella went to the studio and waxed a record. Slap me, make I get money. So if you want to take up any of these issues, right, go to court. Even if you don't need the money, you can give it to a charity, or any of those.
It's just painful, Mr. Falana, that people use social media in the wrong way to fabricate lies and push all manner of
state in the society where we have to look at the state of the law. I go around fighting for freedom of speech. I lead the campaign in West Africa to decriminalize freedom of speech. But at the same time, you have to be accountable if you engage in any libelous publication. Right? What will help the society is to fast track the purpose, the getting legal redress, so that you are not in court for 5-10 years where you get frustrated if you are offended, right? And what people do in some other societies, we should have suggested, maybe we should have the office of the ombudsman to address some of this problem, so that with immediacy,
it can be tackled.
Yeah.
Without people suffering too much damage.
Yeah.
And about people, there was in fact a time that, and I don't want to be using other people's example. I prefer to use my own example because I've suffered it. I've had my old mother crying for several days because of malicious information that have been pushed to her about our son. And family members embarrassed by some of the things that people say. These are issues that some people out there face because of malicious posts.
But people now took advantage. Hence, I've now resorted to going to court. Yes.
You fight for people for freedom of speech, but then you have suffered
irredeemable damage. No.
Although you were saying that it should not be of a criminal dimension.
No, I'm opposed to using the state instrumentality of the law.
There's a criminal defamation and there is a civil law of defamation.
Yes.
Mr. Falana.
Yes.
But you are saying that it should be decriminalized. But no, our law still exists.
The current president of the Gambia, President Adama, arrested 2 journalists last year for defamation, criminal defamation. And I intervened, pleading with him, please drop these charges. And your lawyers have already gone to court for libel. And ultimately that was it. Last year, in 2017, the immediate past president of Ghana, President Akufo. Akufo-Addo. Somebody went to the social media, Facebook, and said it was on, my president is on wee. They were smoking in there. And there was no basis for it. Of course, the police went to court. They charged the fellow. But the president called them. No, if I'm offended, I will file a civil action. So drop the criminal charges. So that's the whole idea, And that's our position. Don't criminalize freedom of speech.
But when people get out of line, and this sometimes it could be so
what I'm saying is
damaging, Mr. Falana.
No, I know. What I'm saying is that we must fine-tune the law so that when your reputation is damaged, you can go to court and get quick resolution of the matter. But when people are frustrated and you file a civil action, the case is in court for 5-10 years, that's when people say, please, let's use let's criminalize freedom of speech.
You heard the NSA asking Najatu Mohammed to withdraw whatever she said. The woman said, no, I'm not going to withdraw. People, even in the position of power, and in other clients, private citizens are saying, look, this is getting out of hand.
For public officers, because you're in the public office, if you feel offended by any publication, and that was the case of Wanko and the state, where the late Josalata would have made a point that if you feel offended by any publication, this was 1982, don't use the instrumentality of the state to harass your opponent. File a civil action for libel where you put your reputation in issue, because criticism is indispensable in a democratic society. But where people go outside the bands of, outside the law, right? File an action and perhaps ask for a speedy resolution. But clearly, things have got to a stage that we need to have another look at the law.
Now, let's look at
some
this.
marriages are being broken because of some reckless publications.
Mr. Falana, people have spent the better part. You have spent more than 40 years building Femi Falana as a brand.
Yeah.
Someone will come in less
From
than
nowhere.
40 seconds
From nowhere.
with less than 40 megabytes of
Yeah.
internet
Yeah.
and could destroy that brand.
Yeah.
And people are like, look, this cannot go on.
Yeah.
So in the case of Meta that you sued to court, what are your hopes?
I'm very, very hopeful. Because
You're going to fight a big corporation, a giant.
Oh yes, nobody is bigger.
One of the richest in the world.
Nobody is bigger than the law. Again, like I think it was the late Lord Denny that made the point. In the UK, I mean, no matter how high you are, the law is higher than you. And the only idea is to get some of these organizations to be responsible and look at their own system. If you create a forum where I can just throw any garbage, and then colossal damages.
Do you think the government could do anything in terms of level of regulation?
For sure.
Because it's getting out of hand.
For sure.
And it's pointing to a destruction of our society.
No, the government will have to. The legislators will have to look at the law. Again, I've said I'm opposed to criminalization, but there are civil remedies that can be made available to whoever is offended. And by the time these organizations are made to pay colossally, they will have to look at their system and also have some inbuilt mechanism for checkmating reckless publications.
There was a video that I made. I went back to my alma mater and my first degree where I studied theater arts. And just like the
I've seen that.
You've seen that video.
Yes.
And there is something, it's a cultural practice with the legal practitioner, legal practice, that you have to do the final dinner before the call to bar. It's very important. There are people that have been asked to go and receipt a call to bar because they meet the dinner, such as you have in the medical practice also. That induction program is very critical. That was the induction program for new students in the performing and film art department, where I did mine about 25 or so years ago, and I went back to honor them. And I prayed for them to be welcome into the creative community. Guess what people said? They said they didn't know that I have traditional occultic power. And some people, friends and family, said, Shungo and this person, why should I dispel? It does not make sense. When it was posted, the titles were there that this was a creative student Arabic.
No, that has been removed. People now say you are a member of some
cult, secret cults. You know, I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian, born into a Christian family, and if that stands for a denial word, spelling that.
I cannot understand.
So it's very painful, Mr. Falana. But let me take you to a very critical matter also.
You did hear matter? $5 million US for issue of privacy. You know wetin be privacy? Privacy. Your information, your details. You know wetin e mean? For somebody who does not have access to your information, only for you to see, say it's being used against you. You know what? This is how some of these apps breach this law. They will defame people's rights. Information. Unauthorized info. You see. Information where they don't give you access. Just go see in the name of, you know. Now, so some of them they do just because even you when they listening to me now, sometimes you see breach of this issue of privacy, but you don't know what to do. You don't even know how to go about it. You cannot. Do you have money to sue them? Do you have money to take lawyers? Do you have money to sue them? Do you have time for case? You just let go. Many like that. Many, oh boy, will be like, say this man need money. You see, they encourage you. Say, oh yeah, now I will help you. Oh, but I will help you. If you don't need the money, give it out. Now I will help you run now. You collect money, you collect those. More. See, this one not go affect us for Nigeria here. This one not go make Mark Zuckerberg can't cruise border against us, against people where they use blue app. More. Oh, this one not go affect us. You imagine now. Anyways, I just want you to see you. So maybe next time, tomorrow, if you see changes or things happen like this when you not like, you know, maybe you did think, or you know where the problem they come from, the reason. You see, everything in Nigeria, they did different. I'm not saying because of Nigeria, nobody have any right. Nobody have any right, especially information. Do you know what is information? Private information. That's why they call it privacy. Privacy. So, because for you to use them, they told you that your privacy is being protected. Your information, everything is protected. So for you to release those protected information out without my consent, my permission, it means a lot. And they are even using it against you. So it means a lot, truth be told. So if everybody have this everybody have this or in this level of Femi Falana to sue this Facebook, do you know how many people, not just Facebook, or other social media apps that you know? A lot like that, many. And now you see how many. Shehu is counting how many, uncountable. But sometimes you just decided to overlook it. But some people have time. Probably they need money, or they just want to show them, teach them examples so that they can be more security active. So that they can be more security conscious next time. Because when you pay money once, twice. Anyways, what do you think? Please share this video and follow this page for more. Subscribe to this YouTube channel.